What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. Today we are using the team that Ashton and Jeremy used to win the North American International Championship with Driplim, Tapu Lele, Metagross, Amoonguss, Landispan, and Rotom Heat. You might have noticed that my mic is different because I'm not wearing my normal headset. I think the headset that I use is at its end. It's just giving me too many problems. I actually tried to record an episode earlier, and it just was like, it was recording at such a low volume that like the game music, like the game audio was overlapping it. So yeah, and it's just been giving me so many problems lately that I think it's time to give up. I think I have to buy a new headset or something. So I'm using my backup mic that I used to use a while ago. I'm hoping that still works, but it looks like it's doing pretty well. If that's the reason my voice sounds a little bit different, it's because I'm using a different mic. And yeah, and another reason if you don't know, this is a 0.5 episode because this isn't going to be an official episode. I just wanted to get a video out today, and even though I recorded an episode earlier, well, I recorded like an episode and a half, but that mic just gave me so many problems that I had to scrap the episode, unfortunately, because like you couldn't actually hear me. Like, you actually couldn't hear me. So I had to scrap the episode, which is unfortunate, and I don't actually have time to record another episode. If you don't know, today is actually my birthday, and what a birthday treat my mic decided to give me. But the fact is, today is my birthday, so I'm actually going out like right after. Like, I'm really kind of this close. I'm recording like one battle, and then I have to leave right away. When you're watching this, I probably edited the video on my way to the place I'm going to. So yeah, kind of a bit close right here, but I do want to get at least some kind of battle form out today. By the way, also I want to thank everyone for whoever shouted, gave a happy birthday message via YouTube comment, via Twitter, or if you came to my live stream. I did have a birthday live stream, and that was just really impressive because so many people came out. We averaged around 90 viewers, and we actually were able to hit above 100 for quite a consistent amount, multiple times throughout the stream. So thank you all for tuning in. And actually, I am getting close to Twitch partnership as well, which is actually pretty big because of the fact that my recent streams have actually hit the minimum amount, which you need is 75, and I've been hitting around the 80s lately. So yeah, maybe I can reach a Twitch partnership, which I would really love to. Looks like we are struggling to find a team battle, which is unfortunate because it is time consuming. I think I'm just going to cut it right here. We'll be right back with the first game of today's episode. Alright, we got a 1677 rated player from Japan as our only opponent for today. Oh, Bisharp, that's not fun. Salamence, Bisharp, Tapu Koko, Mimikyu, Volcarona, and Gastrodon. This is going to be a really tough matchup. You have to think about certain issues. One, like what kind of Volcarona it is. Is it a Rage Powder or a Quiver Dance set? It could realistically be either. If it's a Rage Powder set, it can redirect my Will-O-Wisp, which isn't good. Like, this, it's really bad. Amoonguss doesn't really do well. I mean, yes, I could Spore, but one, there's a Koko. Two, it doesn't really do much in this matchup, especially against the Salamence and the Volcarona. I also probably need damage output to deal with the Gastrodon, so I'm probably going to have to bring Driplim. I think Driplim is my only way to Will-O-Wisp the Bisharp, which is really effective in this game. Bring Tapu Lele. I think I bring Metagross. And then the question is, what do I bring in the back? I'm kind of liking Landers for the Intimidate into the Salamence, as well as the switch into Koko, which is nice. As well as it can Rock Slide the Volcarona, Intimidate the Mimikyu. The Gastrodon makes me a little bit vulnerable, but if Lele and Metagross can overpower it, or I can weaken it to where Z-Move can knock it out, I think that would be the best case. Otherwise, Rotom isn't too bad because it does help against the Koko. Decent against the Bisharp, but we'll see how this goes. So, gonna bring those 4 Pokemon, and hopefully we will have a good game. So, really wondering what my opponent's gonna lead here. I'm not sure what you're gonna lead here. I do kind of want to just Will-O-Wisp the Salamence Bisharp is like what I'm really expecting here as a lead. Like, I'm really expecting that lead, if anything. We're going to see the Tapu Koko Bisharp, which is actually really good for me because of the fact that I can just Will-O-Wisp the Bisharp, I think, very freely here. Or, if I really want to, I don't think you Sucker Punch my, I don't think you Sucker Punch Drifblim because I don't think that play makes sense. I would Will-O-Wisp your Bisharp 100%. So, most Bisharps are Focus Sash. Tapu Lele will outspeed any form of Bisharp that isn't like a Choice Scarf, which is really rare. I could go for a Shadow Ball plus Moonblast because I will be able to knock out the Tapu Koko. Knock out the Bisharp. And I don't know what Tapu Koko goes for. I could go for a Volt Switch, which I could definitely see here, but I think doubling the Bishop here is nice because I don't know if Bishop protects here. Because of the fact that I could just Will-O-Wisp the Bishop and Psychic to Tapu Koko, so I don't know if my opponent wants to risk that Tapu Koko slot. Yeah, so we're going to see a no Protect here. I will get a Shadow Ball off into the Bishop. And I don't know if Z-Move knocks me out. Volt Switch is going to come out, target down my Bishop. So Bishop won't go down. I mean, Drifblim won't go down to that Volt Switch from that Tapu Koko. We're going to see Tapu Koko retreat here, most likely into Salamence. I don't know, Salamence. You wouldn't want to take a Psychic. We're going to see the Mimikyu come out, which makes a lot of sense because of the fact I could have just went for a Psychic right there. But Moonblast is going to come out into the Bishop slot. That will allow me to pick up the Knockout into the Bishop, which is really good. So I do get rid of the Bishop. Great. That's one Pokemon down. That's a really threatening Pokemon too. Really happy about how that turn plays out as I get rid of Bishop basically for, you know, some damage on Drifblim, but it's not necessary. Tapu Koko is going to come back out, which, you know, is alright here because a very free switch in the Landers here, I think, and the Shadow Ball comes out here into my opponent's slot. And yeah, I think that is my play here. I could also Will-O-Wisp the Mimikyu in case I'm really worried about the Swords Dance set, which I think it would be Swords Dance on this team, realistically. I am a little bit worried if it gets the Swords Dance up. But I think Shadow Ball is fine here. And just go out in the Landers. Because Psychic Terrain is useful for later in the game. So I'll just go out and I don't want to miss Will-O-Wisp since I don't exactly have to go for Will-O-Wisp. So I think the best play is to go out in the Landers right here. And Will-O-Wisp. Even though I could break the... Because I can break the Mimikyu's Disguise. I mean... Not Will-O-Wisp. I wasn't going to go for Will-O-Wisp. I was going for Shadow Ball because I break the Disguise on Mimikyu, so I can make it vulnerable to my Iron Head later. So Shadow Ball going to come out into Mimikyu. We'll break that Disguise. So goodbye Disguise on the Mimikyu. We'll see what it goes for now. Maybe a Thunderbolt. We're going to see a Volt Switch once again. It's going to target down my Drifblim, so nice Volt Switch play from my opponent. So let's see what's coming out here. We're going to see the retreat. Salamence? I think Salamence is the last Pokemon. I couldn't see anything else realistically. Yeah, Salamence is coming out. What is the Mimikyu going for? SD or Shadow Claw? Shadow Claw. Okay, that's actually ideal. That's really ideal here. Okay. So I can bring out my Metagross here. The problem is I don't have Ice Punch, so I can't actually knock out the Salamence, which makes this a little bit difficult. I also don't know what kind of Mimikyu set this is. I could go for the Iron Head into Salamence, but an Iron Head Rock Slide I don't think knocks out the Salamence, which puts me in a weird position. I feel like I want to go Lele because you could Dragon Dance here, but I don't know how much, because I'm still, like, this Salamence is still really threatening no matter what I do to it. Maybe the play is to go for the Zen Headbutt in the Salamence to switch out on the Tapu Lele, because maybe if I can get in range of Rock Slide later in the game, I think it's really beneficial to me. Because if I put the Salamence into Rock Slide range, I feel pretty good about my situation. Zen Headbutt's definitely not going to knock out Mega Salamence boosted, but could be useful here. Especially if you go for the Return in the Lele, because Intimidate is going to be useful for later. And I feel like Landers is really important so I can handle the Koko. Because if Landers goes down right there, I'm forced to bring out Lele, and then the Koko is going to have free domain over me with the Electric Terrain and can throw off a Gigavolt Havoc, which is going to pick up a KO on one of my slots, or just weaken me for Thunderbolt. So I feel like the best play is to go Lele here immediately, because even if I might take a Return or a Double Edge, I feel like that is the best risk that I have to take here. So Return is just going to come out into the Tapu Lele. Does that knock me out? It does actually just straight knock me out. That's a little ugly. I was hoping it could actually survive. A Zen Headbutt. Looks like I'm either faster than Mimikyu or we speed tie as I get a lot of damage off into it. Oh, Z-move. Oh, but it's the... Okay. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. If it was the other Z-move... Okay, so if it was the other Z move, it was Ghostium, we could have had issues. This isn't really going to do much since the Mimikyu is intimidated. Okay. We're going to see Let's Snuggle Forever into the Metagross. I don't think I mind this position. Yeah, I don't think I mind this position. So, Metagross, yeah, like look at Metagross, it just ate that up. Now I can go my Landers the question is still, how do I beat Coco effectively? Because looking at this, like, Coco isn't exactly real. Like, Coco still can dominate. But Mimikyu's at -2, which is good. I feel realistically, the best play is just to Iron... Okay, the problem is I don't want Salamence next to Coco at the same time. I could see Salamence retreating here into Tapu Koko, potentially. And Mimikyu sacks itself or goes for Protect. But I could also see the Mimikyu switching out into Tapu Koko and Salamence protecting. The question is, which one do you go for? You could just sack both potentially, but I'm not sure if that's going to be your play here. I really want to Iron Head Rock Slide this. I think targeting the Mimikyu is smart here. Yeah. I feel like it's a 50-50 I have to call. Let's see. Oh, Salamence switches out. I could have Rock Slide Iron Headed that slot. Okay, Coco comes out. Okay, Mimikyu protects. Oh no, I'm not sure about that. That's not what I anticipated. But that works out for me, actually. Because I get the Rock Slide damage into Coco. Tectonic Rage might actually be able to knock out the Coco. I don't know. Like, at that range, I think the best play is to attempt a Tectonic Rage. Because you might try to Volt Switch. Unless you have HP Ice, but that's, like, really specific. I don't know if you have HP Ice. You might go for it here. Mimikyu might switch out here, which I could definitely see. But I think Coco might protect here. Because you might want to... Or just go straight for the Z move. I think the two options you would have are Z move here, or go out into the Z move, or protect here. Because you want to get my Metagross, I think. Because I think Coco's the only thing that can beat my Metagross at this point of the game. So I feel like you do have to keep Coco around. We're going to see the Mimikyu switch out. That's probably Salamence. I could have Rock Slided here, because if I caught the Rock Slide, I think my Landis just wins, actually. But we'll find out. Because it looks like we didn't see a protect here. Thunderbolt. No. Oh, yeah, because there was a Z move from the Mimikyu. Oh, I am dumb. But I wouldn't want to take a Thunderbolt anyway, because I don't think we've seen Protect from this Tapu Koko. Actually, it might be Choice Specs Tapu Koko. The Volt Switch was doing so much earlier in the game. It actually might make sense, because I think it might be Choice Specs. So I Tectonic Rage the Tapu Koko here. I'm able to pick up a knockout. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a pain because I think Mimikyu is going to come back out. It might protect. It might go for the attacks here. I don't know if there's a return coming out into Landis' way. Definitely could see it. But I think my best play, I think I have to target Mimikyu no matter what. Because even if I Iron Head the Salamence, the only way it can survive this turn is either if it knocks out Landis, which I'm not sure if return can knock it out, or go for the Roost. Either way, a double target into the Salamence won't actually be able to knock out the Salamence. So either way, I'm in the same position as the next turn, I think. So I'm just going to Rock Slide. And Mimikyu does protect here, which was kind of obvious, but I feel like no matter what, I did have to go for this play. We're going to see the return straight into this Lander slot. Doesn't pick up the knockout, so as long as I hit Rock Slide, I'm feeling pretty good about my position. So do we hit the Rock Slide? We do hit the Rock Slide, which is really good. Okay, so we connect with the Salamence. Salamence is going to go down, and then I'm going to be able to Iron Head this Mimikyu, and that's going to be a good game. So, I think I just... Yeah, I just Iron Head, and I could Swords Dance realistically, but I think that the Mimikyu is going to be faster than my Landorus, as the match is going to be forfeited, and we do take a game. So, overall, that was a tough match to navigate. I think the turn 1 was really excellent, where I was just able to knock out the Bisharp. That was huge momentum. I kind of realized, I think that is Choice Specs Tapu Koko. The Volt Switch did, like, so much damage. I think it did, like, 70% to my Drifblim, which is why I'm thinking it might be Choice Specs. But overall, I just didn't want to risk anything like a huge attack going to Metagross, because Metagross was the win condition there, because Salamence can't do too much. The Mimikyu can't knock it out at the range it's at. As long as I just get rid of the Tapu Koko with the Tectonic Rage, because it's very unlikely you would go for like hard switch out your Tapu Koko there on the Tectonic Rage, because like I have so many options. I could just protect Earthquake. Either way, that would be a bad spot for my opponent regardless. And if you switch out and I even go for that, like you don't gain too much, because of the fact that Mimikyu's still locked in -2, and Salamence is vulnerable to another Rock Slide no matter what. So I could get a double knockout there again potentially. So that's why I think just going for the Tectonic Rage was safe, because even though my opponent, could have theoretically switched into Salamence right there, I feel like you wouldn't, because of the fact you just don't gain too much with having the Mimikyu next to the Salamence there. Unless maybe you go for the Shadow Claw into... I feel like it would have to be very specific play. You would have to probably play rough my Landorus and then to try to put it in return range. Maybe that could have done. But if you attack into the Landorus on a protect with the return and I knock out your Salamence because of the range it was at, my Landorus could still very easily win the game regardless. So yeah, there were a lot of things to think about. But thank you all for tuning in today's episode of VGC 2018 Back-to-Back Battles. Technically, it wasn't back-to-back because we only did one battle since this was a 0.5 episode. But again, it's mic issues. I hope the audio is going to be alright for this video. But I'm pretty sure that this mic is going to be okay. I never had really big problems with it in the past. I just want an upgrade. But I might have to use this mic from here on out until I order a new headset. But hope everyone enjoyed regardless. You can check out all my social medias down below. And don't worry, this isn't going to actually affect the number of battles with this team. I'm still going to be doing 7 main episodes with this team. This one's not going to actually count for a full episode with the team. So don't worry, we'll still be doing 7 episodes with this team regardless. This one doesn't actually count. But thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch you all later.